Hi, and welcome to the Global Education Group CME video blog, where we address emerging hot topics on the CME enterprise and bring them to you. Today we're going to talk about the question, really a definition of, what is accredited CME? And lately there's been discussion among trade groups, the American Medical Association, congressional staffers, and even bloggers using the terms accredited CME and certified CME. So, ironically, these terms were created to bring clarity to CME, but there seems to be some confusion out there. So let's look at some history and define three key terms in our field. The first one, and most generic, is medical education. It's really a catch-all term that means anything depending on who the stakeholder is that's talking about it. It's most confusing because, again, depending on who you're talking with, it means something different. So to industry sales and marketing folks, meetings with physicians, speaker bureaus, advisory boards, and general training could all be lumped under that term of medical education. Even the AMA in the past mistakenly lumped those kinds of promotional meetings in with other items such as sales rep visits, free lunches, and even CME itself. Now, the AMA corrected themselves last year by stating in a formal opinion that CME was not related to any of those promotional education meetings. Now, believe it or not, the federal government has actually done the best job of making the distinction between CME and all the other types of education or promotional meetings that are out there. In 1997, the FDA, and in 2003, the Department of Health and Human Services both came out with compliance guidance documents that basically said there are things that are promotional in nature, marketing, sales, and the like, and those kinds of meetings that might have some educational value, but they are very different and should be completely separate from anything that is CME or non-promotional in nature. Now, the term certified CME actually was created in 2008 by trade groups involved in the CME field to distinguish education that did three things. First, that it complied with the ACCME standards for independence and industry grant support, that provided evidence-based, balanced, non-promotional learning activities, and thirdly, that it was developed by organizations that are accredited by the ACCME to issue American Medical Association credit to physicians. Now, this third term, accredited CME, actually seems to have been adopted by the ACCME itself around 2011 to continue to distinguish CME from any other type of education, especially promotional information that people are calling medical education generically. Now, in short, accredited CME is the same as certified CME. It's education that's independent from promotional or commercial influence. It has to comply with all AMA and ACCME requirements, including content validation, best available evidence, and physician improvement. And last, whether it's developed with funding from a health system, an academic center budget, registration fees from the participants, or a CME grant that's given from industry, it has to be managed independently by an accredited organization. That is, an organization that's accredited by the ACCME. Now, confusion still exists, but CME professionals are making progress in showing that there's a very big difference between accredited or certified CME and any other type of information or education that's out there. As always, if you have any questions about CME, about these definitions, or any issue in the CME enterprise, feel free to contact us here at globaleducationgroup.com. For Global, I'm Stephen Lewis.